All right, let's dive into a book that has touched millions of people around the world, Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. Now, it all kicks off with this young shepherd, Santiago. And his journey, well, it's going to challenge one of the biggest, most fundamental lies we're all taught to believe about our own lives.
So, pretty early in the story, Santiago runs into this mysterious old man who says something that just stops you in your tracks. He claims that so many books, so many stories, they all push the same idea, that we can't really choose our own destinies. And this, right here, introduces this massive idea, this central theme of the whole novel, what he calls the world's greatest lie. So, what is it? What is this world's greatest lie? You know, this idea that's apparently so powerful, it can literally shape the course of our lives. To really get it, we've got to go back to the very beginning of Santiago's story.
Okay, so our story kicks off in the beautiful rolling hills of Andalusia, Spain, and this is where we meet our guy, Santiago. He's a young shepherd, and his life is, well, it's pretty simple. It's a quiet routine, guided by the sun and basically just following his flock.
His world is simple, nomadic. He knows the fields like the back of his hand, he takes care of his sheep, and really his biggest joys in life are his books and the freedom to just travel. He even thinks his sheep have learned his schedule. But then this little thought starts to creep in. Wait a minute, have I just gotten used to theirs?
And this right here sets up the first big conflict in the story. See, on one hand, Santiago's life is safe. It's got routine, food, water, basically everything his sheep have. But on the other hand, deep down, he wants more. I mean, the whole reason he became a shepherd was to travel and see the world. And lately, there's a new reason to look forward to the next town, a merchant's daughter he's taken a liking to.
And right then, his comfortable little world gets totally shaken up. He starts having this incredibly powerful, recurring dream. In the dream, a child takes him by the hand, leads him all the way to the Egyptian pyramids, and tells him there's a hidden treasure waiting for him there. It's so vivid, so real, but every single time he wakes up right before the kid can show him exactly where the treasure is. So frustrating!
So he decides to get some answers. He finds a gypsy woman in a nearby town who interprets dreams. And first, she makes him promise to give her 1/10 of this treasure. After all that, her big interpretation is, well, it's almost funny how simple it is. She just tells him, you have to go to the pyramids in Egypt. Yeah, that's it. Santiago just leaves feeling totally ripped off and just as confused as before.
At this point, Santiago's pretty much ready to just forget the whole dream and go back to his sheep. He's just sitting in the town square, minding his own business when this strange old man comes up to him. This guy says his name is Melchizedek, the king of Salem. And yeah, this little chat is about to change everything for Santiago.
And this is it. The old king drops the answer to that big question from the beginning. He says the world's greatest lie is this: the idea that at some point in our lives, we just lose control and fate takes over. Santiago's like, no way, I'm in control. I chose to be a shepherd. But the king, he just smiles because he knows that was just the first step on a much, much bigger journey. Then the king introduces what is maybe the most powerful idea in the entire book, the personal legend. And look, this isn't just some goal or ambition. It's what you've always wanted to accomplish. It's your mission on Earth. The king is adamant that following your personal legend is your only real obligation in life. And then he says this amazing thing. When you really, truly want something, the entire universe conspires to help you get it.
So the king breaks it down a bit. He says that when we're young, our personal legend is crystal clear. We know exactly what we want. But as we get older, this mysterious force starts whispering in our ear that it's impossible. But here's the twist, and this is so important. This force isn't trying to stop you. It's actually a test. It's there to prepare your spirit and toughen up your will for the road ahead.
To explain the kind of balance you need for this journey, the king tells this really great story. It's about a boy who's sent to a wise man's palace. His task? He has to walk around and see everything, but he has to carry a spoon with 2 drops of oil in it and not spill a drop. So, the first time, he's so focused on the spoon, he sees nothing. The wise man sends him back. This time, he looks at all the amazing things, but he spills the oil. The lesson: the secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world and never ever forget the drops of oil on the spoon.
All right, so for a price, 1/10 of Santiago's flock, to be exact, the king gives him a gift. 2 stones. One is black, one is white. They're called Urim and Thummim. The black one means yes, and the white one means no.
Basically, they're tools to help him read the omens when he just can't figure out which way to go.
Okay, so now Santiago is armed with all this new knowledge, he's got these mysterious stones in his pocket, and he is standing at a massive crossroads. He is literally facing the biggest decision of his entire life.
And he makes his choice. He sells his entire flock. I mean, think about that. That's his job, his friends, his whole identity. He sells it all. And with that money, he buys a ticket to Tangier in Africa. He's done it. He has officially crossed the threshold, left everything he knows behind, all to chase this treasure.
But this grand adventure, it gets off to a really rough start. I mean, a brutal test. The second he steps foot in Tangier, this crazy, bustling port city with all these new sights and sounds, he gets hit with the harsh reality of this new world.
So, he meets this young guy who speaks Spanish and offers to be his guide to the pyramids. Santiago, feeling hopeful, trusts him completely and hands over every last bit of money he has to buy camels for the trip. But as they're walking through the chaotic market, for just a split second, his eye is caught by this beautiful, ornate sword in a shop window. And just like that, in that one single moment, he looked away, his new guide and all of his money just disappeared into the crowd. Gone. He waits in that marketplace until the sun goes down, but the guy's not coming back. He is totally, utterly alone in a foreign country. He can't speak the language, he has no money to go forward, no money to go back. All he has in the entire world is his jacket, a book, and those 2 stones the king gave him. He just collapses right there in the empty market and weeps, feeling like his dream completely betrayed him. But then, right there at his lowest point, something clicks. He realizes he has a choice. This isn't about what happened to him, it's about how he's going to define himself from this moment on. He can see himself as a poor victim or as an adventurer on a quest for his treasure. He chooses adventurer. And that one little mental shift, it changes absolutely everything. With this new attitude, he picks himself up. The very next day, he walks into a struggling crystal merchant's shop and offers to clean all the filthy glasses in the window, just for a plate of food. And he works so hard and makes the display look so good that 2 new customers actually walk in and buy something, which prompts the merchant to offer him a real job. Santiago agrees to the job, but he has one condition. He needs the money to get to Egypt right away. The merchant just kind of laughs at this before hitting him with a soul-crushing reality check. The journey across the massive Sahara Desert, it's not cheap. He tells Santiago that even if he worked every single day for a whole year, he'd still have to borrow money to get to Egypt. And you can just feel the air go out of him. In that moment, Santiago's whole world just goes silent. All that hope, the adventure, his belief in his personal legend, it just vanishes. Totally defeated, he tells the merchant he'll take the job. But his dream has shrunk. He's not trying to get to Egypt anymore. Now he just wants to earn enough money to buy some sheep and go home.
So this leaves us at a really critical turning point, and it leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about in our own lives too. When our plans just completely fall apart and our biggest dreams feel impossible, is that really the end? Or is it possible that the universe, in its weird way of conspiring to help us, is actually forcing us down a totally different path, a necessary one that we never would have found on our own?